let's grip up. Let's go down there. Let's wait for them to come out. And Wild Wild West this shit. They like, you really want to do that? Like, yeah, man, or let's do something similar to that. Well, how we just gonna let this happen?
Beans and Hov at that time.
Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel's beef wasn't just legendary, it was explosive. These two heavyweights went bar for bar in some of the grimiest diss tracks ever laid down. But what most fans don't know is how close things got to being deadly. We're diving into why Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel are both seriously lucky to still be breathing after all the smoke they brought in the early 2000s. The drama popped off in 2001, and the heat was real. So real that fans thought there had to be some deep personal beef behind the scenes. But surprise, it wasn't even about them at first. This whole thing actually started with tension between Jadakiss and Jay-Z. Jadakiss had been spitting bars since he was a kid in Yonkers, rolling with his boys Sheek Louch and Styles P. The trio formed a crew called the Warlocks, grinding hard until they caught a break. Mary J. Blige heard their demo and was feeling it. She put them on Diddy's radar, and next thing you know, they were inking a deal with Bad Boy Records. Diddy liked what he heard, but he switched up their name to the L-Ox. After that, they were moving heavy in the game, laying down tracks with big names like Moggy, Mariah Carey, and of course, Biggie. They were ghostwriting for major artists, but after Biggie's death, they dropped We'll Always Love Big Papa, a tribute that blew up and put the L-Ox on the map. Their debut album dropped in '98 and immediately hit #1 on the R&B and hip-hop charts. The project was fire, but behind the scenes, the L.O.X. weren't vibing with how Diddy ran things at Bad Boy. They wanted out. So they dipped and signed with Rough Riders, which was originally a management squad that also had DMX in the lineup. Things were about to get even wilder. The L.O.X. were already being managed by Rough Riders while they were still dropping tracks under Bad Boy Records. Back then, Diddy hadn't become the media mogul he is now, but he already had a shady rep for locking down artists and refusing to let them walk away from his label. The L.O.X. weren't having it though. They launched the Free the Locks movement and even started selling shirts that read, "Let the Locks Go." It was straight up rebellion. After enough pressure, Diddy finally agreed to let them leave Bad Boy, but he wasn't letting go easy. He held on to 50% of their publishing, so even though they left, he was still cashing checks off their music.
And State Prop got squashed in Riverbank Park. They probably had wild guns on them. We had wild guns on us, and me and Sigel just talking in the park. And we was able to, fix it.
Things eventually cooled off, but not without scars. Jadakiss still threw jabs at Diddy on the track Blood Pressure, spitting raw lines like, "When you see me, don't ask me nothing about us, and don't definitely ask me nothing about. F it. You owe me one. I owe you two. I would have smacked you with the burner, but I know you too." That bar hit hard. You could feel the tension. Around that same time, Beanie Sigel was coming up strong in Philly. He had the streets buzzing, bodying local rappers in battles and pushing mixtapes on the grind. One day, someone approached Beanie with a paid opportunity to battle a local crew called Philly's Most Wanted. The battle never happened, but they all jumped in a cypher, and Beanie pressed one of the dudes named Boo Bond from Philly's Most Wanted. Here's where things got serious. Some of the guys backing Philly's Most Wanted were tied in with Jay-Z, and they had their eyes on Beanie too. Just a few weeks later, Beanie got that life-changing call. Jay-Z wanted all of them to come up to New York and spit for him.
The judge was going to let me go, monitored. And she said, would you be willing, and that's the part that people don't, would you be willing to be responsible for his whereabouts, not be responsible for my actions, just his whereabouts? Would you be willing to do that? Provide us with all the information, saying that he's going to be here, there. And after all that good shit, and he said no.
Jay-Z was feeling the talent and offered everyone in that Philly cypher a deal with Rockefeller. But while Philly's Most Wanted turned him down and went with Atlantic Records, Beanie Sigel knew a golden opportunity when he saw one. He signed with Jay and Rockefeller in '98. That same year, Beanie and Jadakiss both landed verses on Jay-Z's legendary posse cut, Reservoir Dogs. Now Beanie might have been from Philly, not NYC, but he'd been a fan of Jadakiss and the L.O.X. for years. In fact, in 1999, Beanie jumped on Foxy Brown's track 456 and even gave the L.O.X. a shout-out in his verse, saying, "Haters wondering how I got a position with Rock? Because I listened to the Locks and I listened and watched." So yeah, Beanie had nothing but respect for Jada and the crew in the beginning. But everything flipped when Jadakiss started clashing with Jay-Z. The real beef didn't blow up until 2001, but the tension started brewing way earlier, back when they were recording Reservoir Dogs. In a 2020 interview with Genius, Jadakiss broke down what really happened behind the scenes. According to Jada, the LOX had just landed back in New York after a long stretch of shows. They were still at the airport when they got word. Jay-Z wanted to get in the studio with them immediately. It was a huge look, no doubt, but the LOX wanted to drop their bags and chill for a second before heading in. Jay wasn't trying to wait, though. He wanted them to come straight to the studio. That rubbed them the wrong way. Jadakiss said it felt like Jay wasn't showing proper respect. So when Styles P got in the booth, he didn't hold back. He aired out his feelings right there on Jay's own record with the bar. I don't give a F who you are, so fuck who you are. I don't care about a pretty chick, a watch, or a car. I don't care about your block or whoever you shot. I don't care about your album and whenever it dropped. I don't care about your past. That was a bold move, and it definitely set the tone for the drama that was about to unfold. If I did, I would have asked. I'm too busy lighting dro with a whole lot of hash. That line from Styles P had fans speculating for years. Was it a jab at Jay-Z? Well, over 2 decades later, Jay finally confirmed it. And when someone asked Styles P directly about the bar, he didn't hold back. I don't give a F who you are, so fuck who you are. Yeah, that was aimed straight at Jay. Styles made it crystal clear. The diss was bold, no sugarcoating. He said what made it even crazier was that he spit it right on Jay-Z's own track. According to Styles, Jay actually laughed it off in the moment like it was nothing. But deep down, he was probably tight about it, just didn't show it. The beef didn't explode right after Reservoir Dogs, though. According to Beanie Sigel, things really started when Jay-Z linked up with R. Kelly for a remix move that sparked tension. See, R. Kelly had Jadakiss featured on his hit Fiesta. But for the remix, he cut Jada off and added Jay-Z instead. Then Jay came in with a slick shot saying, after the show, then it's probably Chris. And after the original, it's probably this. Fans took that as a straight diss aimed at both Jada and Raekwon. Jadakiss wasn't letting that slide. He clapped back hard on the track, Blood Pressure, with bars that hit like punches. Everybody walk the walk till they run into Kiss, then they get stabbed or hung or stung with the fist. How you think your man hard when he stood on my D? Cause I could get his ass bodied, plus front him a brick. Jada was talking reckless, and things were heating up quick. Meanwhile, Beanie Sigel was gaining real momentum. His debut album, The Truth, had just dropped, and even though he had shown love to Jada and the LOX in the past, that energy changed quick. In 2001, Jadakiss made it official. Battle was on. He dropped the track, throwing direct shots with lines like, shoot to take a life, stomp dudes out, boots'll grill. I give you a reason why I'm the truth for real. Rappers can't mess with Kiss. I had to stop eating red meat because I ate too many Beanie Macs. That bar was wild. And from there, the beef was no longer just talk, it was on sight. I'm not one of them dudes. And since you so righteous, don't make me send you to Allah quicker. Jadakiss wasn't pulling any punches. He kept the pressure on, rapping about how people were trying to gas Beanie up. They gas you to force your hand. Realistically, you just a worker and your boss is my man. The disrespect was loud, and it didn't stop there. DMX jumped on a track with Jada and spit one of the most lethal bars of the whole drama, leaving people shook. He said, I only gave you the crown so I could shoot it off your fin head. Y'all dudes fin dead, you heard what I said? I talk it cause I walk it. Started. Fans instantly thought that was a direct shot at Jay-Z. The energy was tense, and everyone felt the shots being fired. Jadakiss was riding high after dropping his debut album Kiss the Game Goodbye. He had momentum, bars, and the streets behind him. But Jay didn't respond directly. Instead, Beanie Sigel stepped up and lit the mic on fire with a freestyle aimed straight at Jada, rapping, yo, forget the speculation talk over, dude. Dig this. I'm about to sun-kiss like a soda. Make Jada shoot the one, put his lips on this 9, and really kiss the game goodbye. And he didn't stop there. Beanie kept the bars coming. You about to really make me hurt you, Kiss. Spitting candy bars. This dude's sweeter than a Hershey's Kiss. Then Beanie turned up even more, dissing the entire LOX crew and Raekwon too. He spit, talking about you rocked yourself out. When I see you, gon' really wish you knocked yourself out. Juan with S need the whole LOX to help out. It's just me. I don't need the rock to help out. And the shade kept flying. Beanie even questioned if Styles P really wrote his own bars. I can tell why Styles said he the ghost of this shit. I can tell in your style. He write most of your shit. Then he took it all the way to DMX, throwing fire at his Belly movie character, Tommy Buns. I got the mask and the tech and the Tommy guns. Leave it up to Hov to X out Tommy Buns. And just to twist the knife, Beanie added, we could bet what you owe Puff and double your debt. Double that, quadruple the threat. Nobody expected Beanie, still a newcomer, to swing this hard at Jada and the LOX, especially since they had major respect in the game. But once Beanie aired that diss, things got serious. Later on, Beanie told DJ Clue that he had no regrets, and Jadakiss, he came right back with a wild freestyle of his own, ready to strike again. Yo, when I met you, you was on my dime. Jigga gave you his old Bentleys, now you acting like you really on something. Jadakiss spazzed on Beanie Sigel, coming for his pride with ruthless bars. Then he really got disrespectful, rapping, I don't know where they found you, son, but since your pops ain't around, I'ma punish you and ground you, son. Jada was treating Beanie like a child, throwing wild shots without a care. He didn't stop there. Jada called out Beanie for swagger jacking his whole style. And dudes can't stand you, Sigel. Your flow is mine anyway, so don't bite the hand that feeds you. This wasn't just a diss, it was personal. Then things went dark. Jadakiss even threw threats into the mix, warning Beanie and his right-hand man Freeway with lines like, I got dudes in Philly that been where you live. Forget Scarface, my bullets hit women and kids. He wasn't holding back at all. Then he added, worst mistake was trying for me. And you can bring your baby gorilla with you. He dying for free. Savage. Jada kept spitting heat all over the track. And I hate beans, but F for it, Kiss gon' eat. It's me and you. Forget the labels, let's go street. He called out Beanie's fans too, throwing shade like, and your rap fans need me. I don't know why this dude keep talking greasy when Mac jam easy. What you thinking? Fast thinking, who trying to lay with you? I could get you marked in a day or two. The energy was unhinged. Jada was not letting up. Then he dropped a cold reminder. Beanie used to be a fan. Jadakiss even claimed he had proof, rapping, you forget the reason that you signed to The Rock. Because you listened and you watched and listened to the locks. All it take is a gun and a bomb. You got me on tape, Hard Knock Life tour, hugging your mom. Total violation. And just when it couldn't get any more disrespectful, Jadakiss pulled up to Beanie's own city and added more fuel to the fire. During Philly's major powerhouse concert in 2001, Jada got on stage like everything was cool, then suddenly cut the backing track and dropped a raw freestyle right there, throwing shots straight at Beanie Sigel in front of his own crowd. Total mic drop moment. Jadakiss kept it grimy in his powerhouse freestyle, unloading with, I look at my son, different gun spitting, head in your back, send over the body, fire again. Send Sigel a wire, I'm riding again, we getting it on. Throw your man leg on the lawn, he can't walk. Put your brother tongue in the mail, he can't talk. It was straight disrespect and the Philly crowd was not having it. The moment Jada spit those bars, the audience erupted, booing and throwing stuff at him while he was still on stage. Thing is, Beanie Sigel wasn't even there when Jadakiss dropped that freestyle bomb in his city. But once he heard what happened, he wasted no time. Beanie pulled up to the venue and jumped on stage himself. And he came out wildin'. I'm thinking about doing the worst, making him watch while I take my time. I'm taking his watch, I'm taking his grind, posting up with 5/8 on his block. Then he threw more heat. He hopped out with a pocketbook and a wig. How you talk that peace stuff when you roll with big. This wasn't battle rap anymore. It was warfare on wax. Jada had pulled up to Philly and violated, so now it was Beanie's turn to strike back hard, and he did it in the boldest way possible. Beanie went straight to New York, stepped into the Hot 97 studios, and dropped a freestyle so vicious, word on the street is it made Jada go grab a burner. Beanie and the whole State Property squad showed up deep. Nobody knew what was about to go down. Funk Flex was hyping it up, and when Beanie grabbed that mic, he torched it. He didn't just go at Jadakiss and the LOX, he widened the target. Since Jay-Z was also beefing with Nas at the time, Beanie fired shots at both. He spit, you little chumps better double up. I'm about to mace a couple cats. You know, I send them close to God. I ended Kiss with one style. About to focus on Nas, you know. And your Matic got the medicine bag, but I'm the doctor. That bar left the room frozen. Beanie was out for everybody, and the whole city felt the aftershock. Make the house visit. Chrome .44-D with the hollows in it. Beanie wasn't just rapping, he was sending threats on wax. He kept it gutter, shouting, you got a banger? I'm across in the cross position. Chump, listen, don't you know I'm gutter? I kidnap kids, hit them in the ass, throw them over the bridge. Nobody wanted that kind of smoke. But Beanie, he was built for it. He was ready to go toe-to-toe with anyone in the rap game. After firing at Nas, Beanie circled right back to dissing Jadakiss, throwing shots with every bar, back to Jada Pinkett or Kiss. No matter how I look at it, still think of a chick. No matter how I switch it up, think of an actor. Can't stick to the script. Then he hit him with, I'm gonna give you a clip and I keep the latest Uzi, lead in the pipe, that's gangster. I'm in class all by myself, I'm on your neck all by myself, that's danger. It was raw, it was personal, and Beanie wasn't backing down. He ended the verse with a cold warning. You want war, chump? That's what it is. Full metal jackets dressing your kid? Jada, put your life on pause, no replay. After that brutal funk flex freestyle, things stopped feeling like just rap beef. It was teetering on something real. When Jadakiss heard Beanie's verse, he lost it. Sheik Louch from the LOX said Jada was ready to grab his gun and head straight to Hot 97 to confront Beanie. Jadakiss was heated. He told the crew he wanted to post up outside the studio, wait for Beanie and State Property to come out and go Wild West on him. Let's grip up. Let's move. That's how serious it got. Sheik had to calm Jada down before he did something reckless. And Styles P, he said he was down to ride too. Not just against Beanie, but even against Jay-Z if it came to that. But even Styles admitted that he had to step in and cool things down before the situation spiraled out of control. For the LOX, this wasn't just rap. It was personal. Styles said they had love for those guys back in the day and wanted everyone from that side to win. But the moment that beef popped off, all that history got thrown out the window, and everyone was ready for battle. This whole situation almost turned deadly. Beanie Sigel and the LOX weren't just rappers. They were really from the streets. Beanie had already done a year in prison on a gun charge and came real close to catching even more time after getting hit with an attempted homicide case. And it wasn't just him. Styles P had been locked up too after stabbing a dude in a New York club. Sheik Louch and Jadakiss, they came up in the trenches too. This wasn't rap cap. They were built for real beef. Beanie later said the drama wasn't personal for him, but he admitted it felt good knowing that his freestyle on Hot 97 had the locks that pressed. The LOX didn't pull up with burners that day, but they came right back with another explosive freestyle. All three of them unloaded shots at Beanie and his crew, and Sheik Louch let it be known that he was down to pull up anytime. He rapped, y'all don't really want to play, cause y'all wouldn't rap about it. Be careful when the club is crowded. 3 or 4 drinks, dudes will have blood on your minks. I ain't trying to do this all night. Let's fight. Pull the guns out. Put them boxing gloves down. We'll see if you can last this round. Clown. That wasn't just tough talk. Sheik was ready to knuckle up. Then Styles P turned it up another notch, dissing Beanie and Jay-Z in one cold bar. Won't say the dude name, but he far from the truth. You a chick. Your boss is soft too. You want to say my name? Better get a gun. Plan to use it. Want to play my game? Those were direct shots, and no one could pretend otherwise. But it was Jadakiss who dropped the most controversial line of all. Toward the end of the freestyle, he allegedly took aim at Dame Dash and his girlfriend Aaliyah, who had just passed away in that tragic plane crash in 2001. Rumors have always swirled about what really happened, but no proof ever came out saying it was anything but an accident. Still, Aaliyah was close to Dame and reportedly set to marry him, and Jada's line had people thinking he was dissing both of them. It crossed a line for many, and only added more fuel to a beef that was already way too real. Jadakiss kept his foot on the gas, spitting, I ain't the R, but I'm ready to build, and dudes is ready to die only cause they ain't ready to take a life. But this is a man's world, y'all keep messing with Kiss. I see to it you visit your man in the... Right then, the line cuts out with a sound effect, but fans swear Jada originally said, I see to it you visit your man's girl, which people took as a chilling reference to Aaliyah, Dame Dash's girlfriend, who tragically died in that 2001 plane crash. Whether Jada really meant it as a diss to Aaliyah or not has always been unclear, but he definitely had smoke for Beanie. He fired off, time that we get on, dudes beam just make you fart. Kiss really sawing dudes. Y'all got all the bucks, why y'all mad? Cause we love to stab and we mess dudes up bad. He was talking greasy, and the next line just added to the chaos. And who want what? Where they want it at. You know where to find me. In a Chinese store with a 100 sack. Then he ended with something cold. Think it's a game. Till your moms pull that white sheet back off, and then she think it's a shame. That bar had the streets buzzing. People started thinking it was only a matter of time before this beef ended in serious bloodshed. Both sides were going all in with no filter, and the scary part, these weren't just rap bars, these guys were really outside. They all came up from the trenches and everyone knew what they were capable of. But somehow it didn't go there. Instead, Beanie Sigel and Jadakiss linked up face-to-face to squash the beef, right at Riverbank Park in Harlem. Jada said both sides showed up strapped with cops nearby just in case anything popped off. Rough Riders, the LOX, state property, all in one place. It was tense, but nobody flinched. Beanie and Jada stepped away from the crowd and had a real convo, just the two of them. No entourages, no yelling, just two street generals figuring out how to shut it down. According to Beanie, both he and Jada were booked on the same show, and neither of them wanted to back out just because of the beef. They both knew it could get ugly fast, so they decided to meet up and handle it like men. And just like that, one of the wildest rap beefs of the early 2000s came to an end. Face to face, no violence, just real talk. Jadakiss and the LOX were rolling heavy with the Rough Riders back then, and that wasn't just a crew, that was a movement. We're talking hundreds of riders, all affiliated, all down to ride. When Beanie pulled up to Riverbank Park that day, he brought around 20 to 30 dudes with him just in case things went sideways. But even with that many heads, Beanie said he was way outnumbered by the Rough Riders. The whole thing was surreal for Beanie because deep down, he had mad love for the LOX. He told DJ Vlad that he probably liked the LOX more than he liked Jay-Z. That's wild considering he was signed to Rockefeller. But Beanie said it straight. He was just a fan who ended up in a beef with the very dudes he respected the most. The whole battle between Beanie and Jada, it only happened because of Jay-Z. But a few years later, things flipped. Beanie started falling out with Jay and ended up cool with Jadakiss. Full circle. It all started unraveling when Beanie Sigel was facing serious prison time. Back when he signed with Rockefeller, he said he treated the label like family. He held it down for them on every level, business and the streets. But when he caught a charge and landed in court for a bail hearing, Jay-Z let him down in a big way. Jay showed up in court and the judge asked if he'd vouch for Beanie. Not even to take the blame, just to say where Beanie would be staying. That's all. But instead of backing him, Jay dropped his head and told the judge, no, that was it. No support, no loyalty. The judge was ready to let Beanie out if Jay had his back. But when Jay bailed on him, Beanie got sent right back behind bars. That moment broke their bond. Beanie had stood tall for Rockefeller, and just when he needed someone in his corner, Jay turned away. That move changed everything. And the fallout would stretch way beyond courtrooms. Beanie said he had never felt crushed like that in his life. To him, Jay-Z wasn't just a boss, he was supposed to be like a brother. At the time, Beanie was facing an attempted homicide charge after allegedly unloading 6 shots at a nightclub doorman in Philly. On top of that, he had a federal gun case hanging over his head. But even with all that heat, Jay let his guy go to jail without lifting a finger to help. Beanie eventually beat the attempted homicide charge, but he still ended up doing a year and a day behind bars on the gun case. While Beanie was locked up, everything around him started to unravel. Jay-Z and Dame Dash had their major fallout, and Rockefeller Records crumbled right in front of everyone's eyes. The whole industry was buzzing about who would stay loyal to Dame and who was jumping ship to stick with Jay. When Beanie came home, he shocked a lot of people. He chose to stay with Jay-Z. Even though Jay had let him sit in that cell, Beanie still showed loyalty. But the tension didn't go away. And in 2009, Beanie finally aired it all out on his diss track Average Cat. He rapped, "I'm a grown man, I don't sit on no dude's lap, and I ain't looking for no gifts out of Santa Claus's sack. Santa ain't real, let alone see black. Catch him coming down my chimney, he get clapped." Then he added, "I'm from the city where it's long, dark nights, where hard knock life's real." But Beanie didn't stop there. He even dragged Beyonce into it, spitting, "How it feel to get exposed. Don't you feel naked? I was the fly on the wall, the stuff I witnessed. I could say things that'd make B look at you different." That was bold. He also took aim at Jay's street credibility, saying, "My gangster was never on trial, but I was. I stood up tall, no snitching. But the rapper Sean called the police on me." And if that wasn't enough, Beanie claimed Jay blocked him from securing a massive deal. Word is 50 Cent wanted to sign Beanie to G Unit for $800,000, but Jay allegedly stepped in and shut the whole thing down. At that point, the brotherhood was long gone, replaced with betrayal, bitterness, and bars that cut deep. So Beanie kept exposing Jay, saying straight up, "When I came home from jail, home one day in and out, did you come see me even once? Not one visit, not even a picture or a letter. I went to your office and asked to be let off Rockefeller. because somebody out there wanted to sign me and put real money in my pocket. But Jay left him hanging again. Beanie wasn't just upset, he felt abandoned. At the same time, Jay-Z had his own tension with 50 Cent. Back when 50 was on the come-up, he shook the industry with his savage track, How to Rob, where he dissed everybody, including Jay. On the track, 50 spit, "What? Jigga just sold like 4 mil. He got something to live for. Don't want a dude putting 4 through that Bentley coupe door?" Jay didn't stay quiet. He clapped back that same year on It's Hot, Some Like It Hot, dropping the now iconic line, "I'm about $1. What the effort is 50 Cent?" Eventually, they squashed the beef and even hit the road together for a tour in 2003. But folks close to Jay always said he never fully trusted 50. Because deep down, he feared 50 could take his spot as the top dog in New York. For a while, their business relationship looked solid until 2007. That's when 50 and Kanye West went head-to-head in a major album battle. Whoever lost was supposed to retire. Kanye dropped Graduation, selling over 1 million copies, while 50's Curtis sold under 700,000. After that loss, 50 was heated. He always believed Jay-Z had used his industry power to boost Kanye's numbers, just to push him out of the game. So when 50 tried to sign Beanie, one of Jay's former artists, Jay made sure to block the deal. No hesitation. By that point, it was obvious Beanie and Jay had real issues. The loyalty was gone and Beanie was letting it all out in his music. But even after airing Jay out track after track, Beanie still said something that showed he hadn't let go completely. "Nah, I still got love for him. It's like taking your brother in the yard for 5 minutes because I got a knot in my chest that needs to be loosened. When you really love someone, that don't just go away easy." It was pain, betrayal, and respect all mixed up, and Beanie was still trying to unpack it all through the mic. A lot of fans were shocked when Beanie came for Jay-Z, but according to Beanie, Jay fired the first shot. On the track Already Home, Jay allegedly took a dig at Beanie and the whole State Property crew, rapping, "Hov, I got my own lane already. I done cooked up the rock already. So why the fuck can't y'all get hot already?" Beanie felt that, and to him, that bar wasn't just a flex. It was a sneak diss aimed straight at his team. Eventually, Beanie and Jay did squash the beef, but that bond, it was never the same again. The brotherhood they had back in the Rockefeller days was long gone. Ironically, it was Jadakiss, the guy Beanie had one of the wildest beefs with, who showed him real love years later. When Beanie decided to open up a food truck in Philly in 2024, it was Jada who pulled up to support. That's real. Beanie had learned how to cook while he was locked up, and when he got out, he flipped that skill into a new hustle. He'd always had respect in the rap game, but he never truly hit that mainstream level. Still, he found a new lane, until tragedy struck. In 2014, Beanie was caught in a drive-by shooting that changed his entire life. He had just dropped his kids off at school in Jersey when somebody pulled up and started letting off shots. Cops later said Beanie wasn't even the intended target, but he still got hit twice in the back, and one of the bullets messed him up bad. He ended up losing part of his lung, and when he woke up in the hospital, he was in a daze. He tried to yank out the breathing tube that doctors had down his throat, and when he did, it tore up his vocal cords. That injury changed his voice forever. For months, he couldn't even speak, and now, his voice is way quieter than it used to be. But even after all that, Beanie found a way to bounce back. He kept pushing forward, left the beef behind, and found a new way to secure his bread. As for Jadakiss, he continued leveling up. After squashing all the past drama with Jay-Z, Jada even signed to Rockefeller for a while, proving that growth was possible even in a game built on battle. Then in 2016, the LOX made a major comeback, reuniting and dropping their first album in 16 years. Jadakiss had already been holding it down solo, putting out his own albums and building a brand beyond music. He even teamed up with his day one, Styles P, to open a juice bar, bringing health to the hood. And in 2022, Jada took things to the next level, launching a coffee company alongside his dad and his son. Talk about generational moves. The beef between Beanie Sigel and Jadakiss doesn't always get the spotlight it deserves, since they weren't the biggest commercial stars at the time. But real rap fans know, they delivered some of the hardest diss tracks in hip-hop history. And the fact that they both made it out without any bloodshed, that's a blessing. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this with your people. Drop your favorite Beanie or Jada diss in the comments, and we'll catch you on the next one.